Audible offers an incredible selection of audiobooks across every genre.
As an Audible member, you can choose one title a month to keep from their entire catalog. The time is now, more than ever, to embrace the breathtaking, sinister, and shocking tales that have enthralled you, especially with brand new exclusive thrillers from best-selling authors who are guaranteed to keep you gripped.
Right now, one thing that I'm very interested in taking a listen to is The Daughters of Block Island, which is currently #1 on the mystery thriller and suspense list. So that is definitely going into my queue. New members can try Audible free for 30 days.
Visit audible.com/crappens or text crappens to 500-500. That's audible.com/crappens or text crappens to 500-500. Planning a party, honoring a recent grad, maybe it's a birthday or an anniversary, whatever you're celebrating, Whole Foods Market has what you need to make the party pop.
I mean, if there's anyone, you used to live across from a Whole Foods, Ronnie, and
God.
I remember you were always talking about you would just grab like this to-go salad, right?
Whole Foods was my kitchen and still is. I'm right by one now. I love Whole Foods. Let me just say their mac and cheese is some of the best in the world. I love their mac and cheese. Any Whole Foods location you go to, that mac and cheese is Stella.
But it's not just even the pre-made stuff. It's also just the quality of their proteins. Like if I have to get a nice piece of steak or a nice piece of fish, the first place I'm going to go to is Whole Foods.
Do you need a cooking break? Try delectable Whole Foods Market Catering. Their extensive menu has festive options for any occasion. Order at shop.wfm.com. Start every celebration at Whole Foods Market.
Shout out to Claritin for supporting this episode and providing us with samples.
My family is an allergy family, and one thing I can always count on is that somebody has the Claritin.
Luckily, for those of us who live with symptoms of allergies, we can live Claritin Clear with Claritin D.
Designed for serious allergy sufferers, Claritin D has 2 powerful ingredients in just one pill that relieve your allergy symptoms and decongest your nose so you can breathe better.
This double action combination of prescription strength allergy medicine and the best decongestant available relieves sneezing, a runny nose, itching, and watery eyes, an itchy nose and throat, and sinus congestion and pressure with ease.
I've got 2 nieces with extreme allergies, and the only thing that helps them is Claritin. We've always got it.
Oh yeah, my boyfriend, let me tell you something. When the allergies start up in Los Angeles, it's like, this is like reach for that Claritin. Ready to live life as if you don't have allergies? It's time to live Claritin Clear.
Fast and powerful relief is just a quick trip away. Find Claritin D at the pharmacy counter.
Ask for Claritin at your local pharmacy counter. You don't even need a prescription.
Go to Claritin.com right now for a discount so you can live Claritin Clear. Use as directed.
There's so much that happens. Watch what happens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that happens? Hello and welcome to Watch What Crappens, a podcast about all that crap on Bravo that we just love to talk about. I'm Ben Mandelker, and joining me today is the wonderful and hilarious and beautiful Ronnie Karam. Hi, Ronnie. How's it going?
Hello, how are you?
I am doing just great. We are here today to talk about the season premiere of Real Housewives of Dubai, which, has this show not been on the air for 2 years? Was it not on 2023? I don't think it was it?
Has it been that long?
It feels like it's been a very long time, but it's back. However long it was, I'm going to look in a second. However long it was, it's back. So we're here to talk about it. And of course, be sure to check out our Patreon, patreon.com/watchwhatcrappens. Check out our bonus episodes, Crappens on demand. You can watch us, not just listen to us. And we always have a fun time. So there's not much more to say other than that. Follow us on social media. But let's get into some
because we are
Dubai.
actually recording this early because we've got a crazy month coming up with traveling, going to Europa. So it's crazy because we are doing this before our crazy trip. So who knows what we're going to be like tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to come back and everything's going to be totally different. Olive just come back from Italy for 9 days.
We're
praying,
Ronnie,
loving and living.
How could you forget? We're in
I'm in Italy
Europe
right now.
You're in Italy right now.
Oh my God, Ronnie. You know what, Ronnie? Let me just tell you something, Ronnie. Eat that bread, Ronnie. Eat it, okay? You're still going to be fat tomorrow. You were fat yesterday. Just eat it. Doesn't matter. Fat's fun. Everybody loves it. Nobody cares but you. Eat that shit. Nobody knows you. Nobody knows you. Get naked and eat some goddamn bread. Dance over the cobblestone streets. And by dance, I mean dribble some pizza juice all over yourself and fucking Italian person. Live your best life, bitch.
Well, I just looked it up. Dubai did premiere in 2022. So it has been 2 years since this show's been on. I think for a while, a lot of us were like, is this show coming back? Is it gone? It didn't really light up the internet very much or pop culture. It just sort of arrived and was like a curiosity. So I think we all kind of thought it was going to go away. But then with BravoCon in 2023, they were definitely all there, and Lisa Milan was cutting up, and there's definitely been some back and forth share with Chanel Ayan and some people. So they've been gearing up for their second season, and now it's here. And
Caroline Brooks is always on the Twitter starting shit ready to go. Caroline Brooks is always ready to start with the girls.
Like she's
bad
going
bitch.
year round. So is Chanel. So yeah, Lisa Milan as well. So yeah, they're definitely they're ready to rumble, this cast, for sure. Let's see what they bring. Now listen, it's really a rough show. Because there's so many problematic elements to it just by its very nature, but also because it's just in a very hot place. I mean, every time they shoot, I'm like, aren't you hot? How are you wearing all these wigs and these ball gowns when it's 110 damn degrees out there? You almost be dying. It's just uncomfortable. Like, it feels uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's a hot show. I'm not gonna lie, I came into this premiere with some trepidation because honestly, I thought the first season sucked. I'm gonna say it now. I thought season one.
Oh, you said it then as well.
But I'm saying it more blatantly now. Season one, I was like, no, there's like some potential, and like I feel like there's some good No, like I thought season one it blew. But so I was like, okay, oh God, what's season two gonna be like? But I think actually I really like this premiere. I thought like it had really good energy. I felt like season one felt like very languid to me. It felt like it was done by a production company that doesn't normally do stuff for Bravo, and it just felt like they couldn't quite get the tone right and the energy and the vibe. But now I feel like it feels like the tempo is right, the editing is right. It feels like the women are more like, oh shit, we got to step up our game to really make a splash because we kind of didn't do it the first time. So I am cautiously very optimistic because I really like this premiere episode. What did you think?
Well, I liked the first season more than you. I didn't love it, but I liked it. It was very first season-y, because a lot of times Housewives take more than one season to really get going. I didn't really think this was any different than the first season. I thought it was very similar, but I liked it. I didn't mind it. I liked the first season. I like that we know them better now, and I like that
they know each other better now too.
They know each other better, which is super important for these shows. But also, certain predictions that we can make, seeing them just come true, like just this, the new agey one, what's
Sarah.
her name? Sarah, sorry, it's been a long time. But Sarah just being such a fucking phony, and like having her, just knowing what a phony she is, and her just leaning more into it every time, There are things like that. I think the new cast member is really great.
Yeah. She is good.
I think Chanel came back with more of a softness and like willingness to work with people rather than just be constantly going, like having her housewives moments going off.
Yeah.
I like that she's really leaning into the fashion thing and not not letting that go by the wayside. I think that's really funny.
They need like beyond wide angle lens. They need like the Hubble telescope to get like all of her like look onto the camera. It's amazing. Yeah. I mean, I was definitely laughing out loud. I think that Caroline also seems to be more in like the Caroline pocket that I like, which is her just being rich and snobby, as opposed to her being like bratty and like I don't like her. I like this is the Caroline
would
Stanbury
not hang out with these people. That's what kills it. You can't be like that. You have to hang out with the people, Mm-hmm. And so this time she's more in on the joke, I guess.
Very little Sergio this first episode, which I appreciated because that Sergio drives me absolutely nuts. I think he's he is painful to watch. So the fact that they minimize him. Lisa Milan also, like, I feel like last season Lisa came on and she's like, I do maternity. And you're like, okay. And she's like, these are my kids. We put ice in the pools. You're like, okay, well, it's not that interesting. But now she seems like a little spicier. I just think they all kind of, they saw each other. I think they saw what season 1 was, and they said, okay, we took all the notes and we're ready to play.
All right. Well, here we go. So we see the season trailer, and it's a lot of money being spent on the sand.
Yep.
In the desert. A lot of money being spent building things on sand, which has always confused me about this city. But, architecturally, I just can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah.
In the future.
And
so it's terrifying. Biblically, it's scary.
Yeah, so we see this trailer. Trailer's good. And then we see camels, because of course they've got to show camels first. And then we have Chanel and Chanel Ayan, who, again, I don't know. Do we call her Chanel? Do we call her Ayan? I sort of go back and forth.
Both.
Yeah. So Chanel's in her, she and her husband and her kid are driving in a car, and Chanel's like in the backseat, but like in the middle. It's kind of like very funny. It looks like they're not really driving. It looks like they're kind of like green screened, like on Broadway or something. And so she goes, okay, everyone. Okay. Knock, knock. And so her son goes, who's there? Imagine you're driving a car and you see a dinosaur. He's like, how's this a knock joke?
And she's like, and the dinosaur stops to give you a lift. What does it say? And they're like, what? Ride. Like, rah, rah, rah. You get it? It's a dinosaur. Rah, rah, rah. Hello. Hello.
Is this thing on?
Is this thing on?
There are so many ways that this joke doesn't make sense. First of all, you're driving your car, but then the dinosaur stops and gives you a lift. You're already driving your car. What's happening?
So then Sarah is climbing a wall with her son. And she's like, oh my God, do I have a wedgie? He's like, Mom, you're thick. She's like, how dare you? So then Lisa's son, they're
just looking.
It's just like a little family thing.
Yeah,
it's like
her husband's looking at her son's teeth because his teeth are coming in. And then we go to Caroline Brooks's day spa, the Glass House.
The Glass House by Caroline Brooks.
And I love that it's called the Glass House, first of all. That's so funny. Don't throw stones in a glass house. And she's got a huge stone chandelier. I just love it. It's like she knows the theme and she's just going with it.
I didn't notice the stone chandelier. That's amazing. I'm going to look
Isn't
next
that
time.
funny?
Yeah.
It was so funny. It's very clever.
So she has an assistant, and so she's saging the assistant. And then the girl's like, okay, I'm going to sage you now. She's like, no, not the ashes in my wig. So then we see Caroline and Sergio sort of sadly trying to they're doing a TikTok challenge. And it's like they answer questions about each other by like they hit each other in the face with a pillow to say like, who is the funnier one? And it's like, I'm gonna smack Sergio or something like this. It actually made me very scared. I was like, the season's already done. I cannot with these two. I cannot watch these two doing some stupid ass TikTok challenge. But I was there for pillows in the face of Sergio.
Well, living in LA for so long, I don't anymore, but living there so long, you still being there, we see this older, younger dynamic all the time, right? And it's not the only place that has it, obviously, but that's where I see it the most was in LA. And you always see the trajectory of it. And I'm really impressed that Stanbury has kept it up for this long, because, like, no pun intended. But part of that dynamic is where the older person pretends that they're super young still, and they have this young energy because they love the young energy that the young person brings to the relationship. So they're like down with everything. Like, I'm just young. We just laugh. We do TikToks. And then 2 years later, they're like emotionally abusive and being like, we're staying at home. Why don't you stay at home anymore with me, honey? And just like changing everything. And Caroline's really kept up the like somewhat fun aspect, and I think it's because she never went too overboard with the pretending to have fun in the first place. I think she's been pretty misery forward through most of it with like maybe 10% more smiles, and maybe that's the secret.
Well, so that's my issue, is because the real Caroline Stanbury would see people doing a pillow challenge on TikTok and say, what sort of pathetic people are doing? Valentina, get me a pillow. Okay, Valentina, stand there. Okay, Bop. I just got you, Valentina. Now, that was actually rather fun. Okay, get out
All
of
right,
here.
we're going to play a TikTok challenge. Valentina, stand there with a pillow. I'm recording. All right. Now, put the pillow on your face. Now, push it down. Harder. Harder. Stop breathing. Stop struggling. Valentina, you're still breathing. Amber, sit on the
Paulette.
pillow. Amber, sit on the pillow on Valentina's face. All right.
Paulette and Amber, take Valentina's body and put it in the Thames. Thank you very much. That's the thing. It's like Caroline Stanbury would have the same reaction to this pillow challenge that we do. And so the fact that she's participating in it makes me annoyed. I want her to make fun of people doing that instead. So that's why I got very nervous.
It's because it's a different chapter, because when we saw her on Ladies of London, she was married to an extremely rich guy.
Yeah.
And remember when she had her, she's like, I have a company buying gifts for rich people. Rich people hate buying gifts.
Yes.
That was her thing. Like,
yes.
She was going to like buy the gift registry or whatever the fuck it was.
Yes.
Well, now she does not have that money, and now she's an influencer, and you literally have to do TikTok shit on there. So,
yeah.
You know, she's there it is. We're seeing what it's like to have to work. And I even like that, because even her poor storyline is just still so fabulous, you know? It's like not poor at all. But this is like her version of a poor person storyline. Like, I have to actually record things on a cellular telephone that are broadcast to teenagers all over the world to sell a little Botox. For fuck's sake. Just fucking kill me in my face.
Please don't let Caroline Fleming see this. She actually thinks I'm still part of the aristocracy. So, it's not how you pronounce that, but that's okay. So now we go over to Club Padel, so Padel is the alternate to pickleball. It's like the new pickleball. We saw them play it on Miami, and then there was a New York Times article saying that Padel is like the new hot thing. And I want to hate it, but I actually like it because I know how much it probably pisses off pickleball people. Like, what? Pickleball? Like, what is this, like, fake pickleball? Like, that's stupid. It's not Padel. It's pickleball is what you want to play. I'm like, yeah, Padel's here to fuck you over.
Well, doesn't Lisa call it paddle ball?
It probably is, but I call it Padel.
Padel.
I don't know. I've never said it, I don't think.
I think it's called paddle ball. But
well,
I don't
paddle
know.
ball is one thing, but this is Padel, and it has like a little accent on it.
Oh, well, there you go.
It's a thing. I don't know if it's pronounced Padel, but I call it that because it sounds exotic. It's I don't know. I don't know how to say it. I'll look it up next week.
So Chanel comes dressed to the nines, of course, and she's like, oh, look at me coming to play the game. Oh, game with balls. I can't. Mm-hmm. And Lisa's like, girl, come on. Why are you wearing gloves? Because she's wearing leather gloves for the look. It's for the look of it. And it's 90 degrees outside. So they do some stretching, and she's like, you need to stretch. And she's like, artistically, I won't do it. No, your arms. I don't know what you mean. You stretch your arms. I don't exercise. Stretch your arm. Pull your arm. She's like, what? Like this? She's like hitting her elbow. She's like, ow. Huh? You mean like this?
She just holds her arm up. She just holds her arm up in front of herself and just like she just hoists it up. She's like, the arms are flopping. Like,
why?
That's not a stretch. She's like this. Like this. Like this.
She's someone that I believe when she says, like, because a lot of times on these shows, it's like, oh my God, I eat whatever I want and I don't exercise. I believe her. She does not exercise, and she probably doesn't claim to eat whatever she wants either. She tweeted something, I think it was around the time of BravoCon, where she's like, oh my God, what is this about American food where I come here and instantly gain 15 pounds and can't stop eating? They're like, it's what we do to our food. So I think there's something to that. I blame this country for everything, my ass included.
So she says, me and Lisa are so close. It's like how God and Jesus are close. I'm like, yes, exactly. We call each other every single day, like God and Jesus. And sometimes we talk about, what did you eat for breakfast? Like God and Jesus. Did you poop today? Like God and Jesus. But Lisa has this new hobby called Padel, and I know nothing about Padel, just like American food. What is it?
Padel ball.
I really have to look up how it's pronounced because I'm going to say it like 5 more times, and I just don't want to get the emails about how it's pronounced. So we're going to look it up.
Yeah, and Lisa's like, oh my God, I love paddleball.
and I drink matcha tea, even though it's disgusting. I'm so glad you came. And she's like, well, I don't want you playing with other people without me. And she's like, I'm allowed to have friends outside of you, which I think is going to become the big fight of the season.
Because they don't follow each other anymore, I think.
Paddle.
Yeah, they broke up. And then I saw a post that Caroline Brooks made that was like, seriously, these are two of the women that in the world, no matter what problems we have, just knowing that they're friends was enough for me. And the fact that they're not friends anymore really needs to be, somebody needs to do something about it. I am serious, guys. And so now they're considering making up and being friends again.
Yeah. So,
by the way, I know that I don't have Caroline Brooks's voice, but there's something. There's a seed of it there, and I'm just going to wait for that seed to grow, guys. Okay, so just give it time. Okay?
You're very close. I think you're very close.
There's something there, but I crack up every time she talks, and especially when she drinks the sex boys. They kind of. I know there's like a little Erica Jane in my impersonation, but it's something that's like further back in the throat, but it's not quite Dorinda, but it's something that's like echoey. It's like their throat is making kind of an echo back there. I'm gonna get it. I will get it.
So Lisa tells us, Ayan does not play sports at all. She does not know the difference between a basketball and a football. And Chanel's like, you know, I grew up in Africa and we have so many different sports. I mean, we run, we chase the animals, we climb the trees to get food. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Because we have so many sports.
What if a basketball came up to you and was like, do you want to ride? Boom,
Mom, it's
boom,
not a knock-knock
boom,
joke.
Boom, 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 boom. Why is the basketball shooting at me?
Why is it giving you a ride? You can't drive.
So let's see here. So they take their little lesson and it's wacky and crazy. And Chanel's like, oh, what an easy game. You chase a ball, you hit it here, and then you move back to the exact same spot. Stupid. And then they show her like completely flailing all over the court, you know.
Did you see that? So Chanel's like, you know, this one, I leave it for rich people to have fun because they're bored. They're not climbing up trees like real sport. So now they sit down to have some smoothies, and she takes off her gloves finally, and Chanel's like saying, thank you for inviting me. I can see why you love it, which was so sweet of her to lie like that. You know, Chanel's like, what the fuck is this sport? This is the stupidest thing I ever did in my life.
Yeah. And Lisa's like so positive. So we should get the girls back together. Because, you know, it's the first episode of the season. So it's like, oh, good. Let's call these hookers back in session. So now they're talking about the Beyonce concert. That was like kind of a big deal over there. Yeah. And that was the last time they all saw each other. And they just both keep going. I love when everybody pretends to be so rich on these shows, but they're so impressed how many times they get to say the VVIP. And they're like, we weren't only in the VIP, we were in the VVIP. It was so VIP. It was like better than VIP. It was VVIP.
VVIP. Last month, there was a big opening of Atlantis at the Royale. So Beyonce came to town. It was like a whole weekend extravaganza. And the big finale was the actual concert. And money could not buy you this ticket. Only a select few people got invited. Me, Lisa Milan. I was like, there were a lot of people there. I don't know.
It's like world leaders and the lady from the new maternity wear line. Or
I know. Like, wait a second. That lady has a maternity line that I feel like she's about to reboot. Let's get her.
I think that lady knows somebody who's obsessed with French fries. Can we get her?
I know. Chanel's like, they were so jealous because we were VVIP, honey. VV.
She goes, yeah, we weren't just in VIP. We were in VVIP. You could not get in there. It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens commercial. You know, the third host of this show is named Bueller. Okay, that's my dog. I love that dog, and I would do anything for him. And today's episode is sponsored by the ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program.
In today's world, we insure a lot, from cars and homes to cell phones and even travel plans. But what about insurance for your cat or dog? With ASPCA Pet Health Insurance, you can focus on the care your pet deserves and cover what matters most.
The ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program offers customizable accident and illness plans, making it easier for pet parents like you to help your pet get the care they may need.
The ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program has been around for over 18 years, and they've helped more than 600,000 pets during that time.
They allow you to customize your plan, helping ensure that your pet's plan is unique as they are.
Because vet bills can really add up, especially when you're least expecting it.
It's simple. Use their app to submit a claim, and you'll receive reimbursement for eligible vet bills directly into your bank account.
To explore coverage, visit aspcapetinsurance.com/crappins.
That's aspcapetinsurance.com/crappins.
Again, that's aspcapetinsurance.com/crappins.
This is a paid advertisement. Insurance is underwritten by either Independence American Insurance Company or United States Fire Insurance Company and produced by PTZ Insurance Agency Limited. The ASPCA is not an insurer and is not engaged in the business of insurance.
Ronnie, isn't it amazing that we live in a world where you can get anything you need when you need it right to your door?
Yeah, with DoorDash, you can get pretty much anything.
This is so true. I really will lean into whatever. Groceries, ran out of booze at a party once. You can literally DoorDash. It feels like everything in the world sometimes.
Well, truly. And now I do the double dash where I get some food from one place, but then I'll still want ice cream.
Yeah.
And you can get that from another place. Or have them run to Walgreens or the 7-Eleven or whatever on the way to get your snacks. I mean, it's a dream. DoorDash, your door to more. Download the DoorDash app now to get almost anything delivered.
Must be 21 plus to order alcohol. Drink responsibly. Alcohol available only in select markets.
So then Chanel's like, oh, yeah, we were partying with Kendall Jenner, Beyonce's mom, and none of the other ladies were in the VIP. And then Brooks is like,
just because you're in the nosebleed section with Kendall Jenner doesn't mean you had the best tickets in the house, honey. I was so close to Beyonce that if the wind blew, I could smell a freaking conditioner.
And Stanbury's like, I got wet from Beyonce. Literally. She splashed me. I'm now suing her. Stupid ass. No one gets me wet. Who are you to get me wet? To quote the great Ramona Singer. Who are you to get me wet?
I was like, Sergio, please stop crying on me. And then when I looked, I saw he'd already fainted on the ground and the water had come from Beyonce. She danced here whilst I had water coming over my face, unlike anything Sergio has done for me in several months. And
I love that.
The VVIPs were a block away. I sat
I love
on
the
stage.
idea of her being wet because Sergio was so excited to see Beyonce that he just sweat all over her.
He cried and sweat. He was crying and sweating. Every type of water was coming out of Sergio. It was pathetic.
Sergio hasn't made me wet in quite a while, but Beyonce surely makes me wet through Sergio being wet. Really? How did we get here?
Every single time Texan Hold'em plays, I literally have to hold Sergio. It's the most pathetic thing I've ever seen from a man.
So Chanel has made up with Brooks. Oh no, Stanbury. And they've moved on, and they call each other occasionally and check up on each other. And Lisa's like, that's good. And now we see Chanel's diary room session, and she's in this gigantic rose headdress. She's very Ann Getty's baby today.
Yeah. She has like a
Which is
globe
cute.
of roses on her head, and then her dress is just giant roses and red and everything. It's just wild. And so she's like, me and Stanbury's relationship was how Dubai was, the desert. But now I have this thing where I want to water the desert with Sergio's tears. Yes, with Sergio's tears, and see what's going to grow. I don't know what's going to come out. Maybe an apple. Maybe it's a snake. Who knows?
So now Sergio and Stanbury are driving their hot little Porsche. Love this car.
Yeah.
And I just don't. First of all, I don't have the money to pull that off. So that's the first blocker. And I just don't have the confidence or confident douchiness to pull this car off. I just can't pull it off. But God, it's so cool to see it on TV. I want one.
There's a lot of money on this show. So Sergio's like, so are you excited for this, honey? Honey, are you listening or no? I'm trying to drown out the voice of a pathetic crying man who fainted before Beyonce could even sing one note and then splashed me all over my face, Sergio. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Listen, I always tell you, I feel your presence, but I don't always feel your energy. And she's like, oh, God. Sergio, there isn't a couple on the planet that spends more time than we do. Not one. Please be quiet.
Sergio and I have been married for one terrible full year. What is life like? Well, it's like every marriage. Sex is getting less, that's good. Crying is getting more, that's not good. He's still as clingy as ever. I'm trying to cut the umbilical cord, but it's a slow process full of lots of whining and whimpering from this sad excuse of a man.
I don't even want to say cut the umbilical cord because in less than 5 minutes... Did you say umbilical cord? Are you pregnant? It's like, oh, God. I did this to myself.
She's like,
so they're talking... Oh, sorry.
Yeah, she's like, I'm ready to get into our house at this point. I'm over living in boxes. I have no clothes. I have, 4 or 5 walk-in closets. It's like I'm basically a pauper at this point.
So we see their new house. Well, she's sitting in their new house to do this interview, right? So it turns out pretty crazily. I don't know if it's gorgeous or just huge and shiny. I can't really tell. It's different, that's for sure. It looks cool, I think.
It's
What do you
enormous. It's enormous. So basically, they started working on this house 2 years ago. I think it was in the last season. And they had to move. They moved out of their apartment. They moved in with her best friend, Michael, well, for what was supposed to be 2 weeks. And now they're 12 weeks in. And Sergio's like, oh, Caroline, are we going to do tiki-tiki in every area of the house? She's like, have you lost your mind? You ridiculous man. You lost all tiki-tiki preferences the moment you slumped over my arms during Love on Top.
Love on top. I told you not to call me love. It's like the only position you'll accept. So she's like, yes, Michael has asked me very politely if we would stop doing sex gymnastics. And by sex gymnastics, Sergio pulls out his pee-pee. I hold my hand up and say, no.
And if things get very bad, I swat it with a pillow.
So he's dying to get some because he hasn't been able to fuck in Michael's house.
Sorry, I was just really thinking about the visual you just presented of her saying, no.
Stop. No. Just arm out.
Valentina, please jerk off Sergio. Thank you.
So where do they get their money, these two? She's an influencer. I mean, how much influence does the woman have? That's a lot of house, okay? And it's all marble and shit. I'm not buying this. And how much did he make as a footballer?
I'm not sure, but she came from money, right? Like she went to school with like the Royals, and then her husband was really wealthy, so it sounds like she got a good settlement from that. So I think she's just killing it right now. Or they have no money.
It's just a lot of money.
Or they have no money.
Yeah, that's a lot. So then, because I feel like truly rich people don't do influencing. But then again, of course they do. I mean, Kyle Richards is worth $1 zillion at this point, and she's still like, Amazon Live. I need to talk. Okay, Amazon Live. I'm not a lesbian. Hold on. Let me comment something about scissoring on Morgan's Instagram.
I would say old money does not do influencing. So that's what's weird. Because Caroline gives old money vibes, but maybe she's not that. Maybe her money's not that old. You know, in England, it's like if your money is like 300 years old, it's like, never is trash.
Yeah.
But British
I'm more impressed with new money. I think it's so great when people just go make their own money. You know, I want new money. I want new money. I mean, let's face it. I can't have old money because you can't rewrite history. Can't make my parents less lazy. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
just kidding, guys. I love you, parents. Now go to work more. Work more. Seriously. It's not too late.
So we're at this house, and Caroline's like, building a house in Dubai is very, very stressful. Getting a mortgage is like winning the lottery here. And God knows I didn't win the lottery with Sergio. What's the opposite of a lottery? That's what I have. You know, I'm 46. Please don't look up the math on that. And I had to do a full body health check. I had to have an EKG. I had to run on a treadmill. I had to pour a bowl of cereal for Sergio over here. It was awful, the amount of work I was doing. Just for a mortgage.
That's crazy. To get a mortgage, they do health tests on you and shit.
That's wild.
Because they have to make sure you don't drop dead. I mean, seriously, it's not like any other country in the world. Yeah, I don't know that I'd be bragging that that's where I moved to. That sounds fucking crazy. In America, they're like, have fun with that, sucker. Can't wait to take your house back in 3 months. Okay.
So they walk through the house, and there's like a guest room. She's like, here's the guest room. Oh, no, but this could be the baby room. She's like, okay, well, here's a pacifier, curl up in the corner. Congrats, it's a baby room.
Sergio's ovaries are on fire. Every time he sees a baby, he wants a baby. It's kind of the same feeling I have whenever I see a fly swatter.
Well, we went through IVF, and we have one baby boy on ice where he can stay for the foreseeable future, which is, by the way, this to me is like the Caroline Stanbury that I fell in love with, because she's the only one on Bravo that would say this. Everyone else is like, we have a baby, and I'm just like, I'm really like eager. She's like, I want that baby to be on. That baby can be like Nancy Kerrigan. Just stick it on ice.
The only time we're bringing that baby out of the freezer is to put in a martini shaker.
The only time we're breaking that baby out of the freezer is to show Sergio how to be a real man.
He's like, but the baby can sleep on my side. And he's got that kid energy where he's like, but I'll walk the baby. I'll feed the baby. She's like, no.
Absolutely not. But the baby has to be with us, honey. Oh, so you're going to cry on the baby instead of me? Because that would be pleasant.
Listen, I'm older than you. I'll probably be dead first. The baby is what I'm leaving you in my will.
I'd like to have some furniture in the kitchen, and I don't want to think about having a baby right now. Unless that baby comes with 4 legs and something I can sit on, I don't care.
So then we go to Brooke's spa, and she's like,
The glass house has been open for 3 months. The business is booming. We had the most fabulous red carpet for the grand opening. The who's who of Dubai was here.
It's just like Caroline and Sarah.
Caroline, Sarah.
The person from the sunglass hut at the mall. No, the other mall.
The woman who got wet by Beyonce. That was also
The person
Caroline.
who takes your tickets when you want to do the indoor skiing in the slopes. So then the producer's like, well, why didn't you invite Lisa and Ayan to your grand opening? Because I invited the people who are most important to me.
Yeah, I'm sure
That
they
was
were
shade, by
really
the way.
upset that they didn't get to go smell the dye jobs, you know? Like everyone was just dying to come to a hair salon on their spare Friday night.
I
You
know.
really showed them.
So the producer's like, well, how did you get this open so fast? Meanwhile, the place was under construction. This season 1 aired in 2022. It probably was filmed in like 2020 or 2021. Now it's like 4 years later. Like, how did you open this salon so fast? She's money. If you pay the cost to be the boss, you can get anything done. Welcome to Dubai. It's all about being the boss bitch, and the money. And then it just cuts to Zora and her ex walking in. It's like,
Right when you're wondering, wait, how did she get her money? I forgot. Zoran walks in. He's like, oh, God. It's me. What do you want? What do you want from me? You call me in here to Salon. Here I am again. You call me to fix toilet for Salon? Come on. What do I look like to you? I'm very angry. God, I love you. Please come back to me. You come back to me, I give you the life. Listen, this hair salon, you can have the world of hair salon. Just come back to me. Come.
well, look, Zora, look, this toilet, it's sinking into the floor. I mean, look, it's. Have you ever seen a toilet sinking? It's like, yes, well, that's because nothing but sand under the tiles. Well, Zoran, you gotta fix that.
I'm not handyman. I'm construction. I don't do maintenance. She's like,
So who's gonna fix the light bulbs then?
It's like, I will send people, electrician. I'm very angry Russian man.
Then do it already.
So then we cut. I miss these two. What a couple. These guys. I'm really glad they got these two together for this season. I mean, not together, but they're like, Zoran, you're gold. You're back in every episode.
Just build some shitty toilets, pun intended, and we're gonna have fun with you. So then,
Listen, I don't want her to know truth because she gets mad. But if there's no broke toilet, who calls Zoran? Nobody.
you have to leave a reminder so that way they call you back. So now we go to Sarah. She's meditating with Alexander, who's a spiritual healer, and he's like definitely from Venice Beach, California, who made his way to Dubai and now is conning this woman for thousands of dollars, as he should, because as long as there are people like Sarah around there, con them. So he's like, so Sarah, what's going on? How is your heart? Like, how is your mind? It's been like a couple of weeks since our last healing session. Am I right?
And she's like, oh, I see a lot of changes. I'm so much calmer. I'm so much calmer now. And then Shayun, who's also there, is like,
Yes, Shayoon's the sidekick. Shayoon.
yeah,
Yeah, Shayoon. That's a
She's
great
just
clap,
like-
Shayoon. Great clap. You're
Shayoon's-
doing great work there.
So is Shayun already in it? No, we've had flies. So she's, I believe in you, Shy. I believe in you.
I keep telling her clap above the fly, and the fly will fly into your hands, but she just doesn't get it sometimes.
She's just very on the nose.
She's very
Shayun.
like she's slow too. I mean, did she really think you can really kill a housefly clapping? Just faster, Shayoon. Bitch. So Sarah's like, spiritual healing. I've been doing it for like 5 months now, and I've seen a huge difference. I used to have $40,000 in my bank account. Now I have 25,000. Big difference.
You know, this guy, he goes deep into your traumas, okay? And it fixes it on the spot while you're doing it. It's very, in Islam, it's very common to use words of affirmation and gratitude and speaking positively. It's just such a human way of healing.
I love
Yeah,
that you.
okay.
I love that he just
her,
like,
like oil change.
I was
her
about
oil
to
change
say.
trauma.
I was going to say this is like the Valvoline of spiritual healers. It's like, oh, you know what? My light just went on. I have trauma. I'm just gonna go and get it fixed on the spot real quick.
Fixing traumas while you wait. I read a People magazine, and while the time I read it, my traumas were fixed. Amazing
I couldn't quite
work.
couldn't quite finish the crossword. It was a little difficult, but you know.
My traumas were fixed before Shayun caught a fly.
I said I'm not gonna pay a lot for this trauma. So anyway, I was like, oh, trauma.
Okay, listen. Sorry, that was an ill-timed okay, because it sounded like I was being mean to your thing.
You're like, you've gone too far, Ben. Inserting trauma into the O'Reilly Auto Parts song is too far.
I'm so sorry I didn't see that coming. I thought we were moving on.
Hold on, Shayoon.
Shayun is just doing this. Like, wait a minute. Shayun, are you the trauma oil change balloon man outside the...
No. Shayoon doing Surfing USA. Everybody go surfing. Got it.
Got one. So what was I saying? Okay, I
don't know.
forgot.
Sing
Oh, okay.
O'Reilly.
Here's the thing. Shayun, babe. Shayun and Andrew, or whatever the fuck this guy. You guys can't charge. You know they're charging like $90,000, which of course Sarah is getting free because she's like influencing for it, you know?
Yeah.
She's like selling trauma fixing in under 10 minutes on her Instagram. But you guys need to do more than whip out a laptop and ask literal questions from a computer. They're like, okay. So Shayun's like, she's like wiping off the fly on a paper towel. She's like, okay, sit down. I've got a MacBook. Okay. Tell me about your trauma. She's like, well, my first husband, it was abusive. It wasn't good. She's like, good. On a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel about it? I'm like, Shayun, can we not just phone it in on the MacBook, babe?
But also, like, do you need the MacBook to, like, they're like entering data, like it's like literally like what you have to do to get a car at Avis. It's like, okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, your trauma, okay, how was X number 1? How was your trauma? And she's like, it was the worst. Well, it was bad. He abused her, so that's not funny. But then it's like, okay, X number 2. X number 2. How about him? Well, I felt a 10. He cheated on me. Like, okay. And she was like, I just don't want my son to go through a negative relationship again because he witnessed everything. He witnessed verbal and physical abuse. And she wants my son craves a father figure, but I can't make the same mistakes. It's like, okay, all right. That's not on the Google sheet. So okay, it's time to heal. Okay. He literally says, time to open your heart, sister. It's like, okay. Can we just bring in the shaman slash colorist from Dallas at this point?
Right. Yeah, it's a little. The traumas were serious. The fix, I don't know, was very serious.
Right.
You know? And he goes, "Congratulations, sister. Were you able to cut those cords?" She's like, "Yeah, I think I feel so much better." He's like, "Great." Well, it was about half a gallon of oil, which was kind of amazing because you just got some put in. You are really oil guzzling. What I'm saying, good job. Cheyenne, you still got the MacBook open? Charge her ass. Charge her ass. Could you put your fingerprint on this? Okay, we're Apple paying your ass. Okay, sister?
And Sarah goes, "Oh my gosh, I feel nothing but light. It's like I feel good. And moving on, that's where you gain the power." And Alex goes, "Raise the roof." He's like, "Raise the roof. That's what I'm talking about. Woohoo!" I'm like, are you at Applebee's now?
Yeah, he's really having trouble staying consistent in his role.
Commercials. Here comes one right now.
You know, gyms can be real sneaky. You know, they trick you into these forever memberships. And the next thing you know, you're spending dollar after dollar after dollar going back and back and back to that gym. And it's not always working.
Weight loss industry is a cash machine and it runs on our desperation. Crazy diets and weight loss products are temporary and you gain it all back.
But not when you visit Sono Bello, okay? Smile. It's going to go away permanently in just one visit.
Ask about their modern techniques to eliminate sagging and loose skin.
Sono Bello gives you your curves back permanently.
No more feeling embarrassed, shy, and uncomfortable about your body.
No more hiding in baggy clothes.
Give yourself the gift of a full body reset. You deserve to be happy.
Schedule your free consultation. Learn all about micro laser fat removal.
Sono Bello is running a great special right now. Visit sonobello.com/WWC. Sono, BELLO.com/WWC.
So now we have Lisa.
Got one.
Cheyenne, that was just a piece of dust. It was an easy catch.
So Lisa takes her kids to soccer class, and she's like bragging about them being accepted into some academy. She's like, it's a really big deal, and they're gonna have private training because they're gonna be like so big in sports that they're gonna take care of us one day. That's our retirement plan.
Yeah, and she's also excited about her brand because she's got a new team, a new rebranding. They're going to be more editorial and they're going to have new products. So she's just excited and she goes, "My haters are going to have a front row seat to all the success that is coming. Well, as long as the front row seat does not include getting splashed. Because I don't care if you're Beyonce or Lisa Milan. I pay a lot of money for this hair. So no water, please."
So then we see who her haters are.
Reunion flashback to Sergio tweeting that his friend was the one who funded Lisa's 8-figure business, and then Caroline accusing her of stealing designs. Dun dun dun.
And Lisa says that Caroline came from my business and my character, and she really hurt her. But deep down, I don't think that she's a witch. I think she's just, sometimes she's a bitch. So she rhymed. And now we go over to
Everyone in the country, LOL. So now
Alex is like, "Woohoo, girl, you did that. You did that. Cheyenne, wasn't that funny?" All right, she's
You
busy.
did that, girl.
She's busy. Cheyenne's busy. We'll play the
She
joke
was
for her later.
really traumatized about that Sergio tweet.
in under 10 minutes, she's okay. She's like, I'm not influencing for you. Get out of my scene. Fucking Andrew. So let me think back to that season. It's really hard because it was like 20 years ago in Bravo time. Like 2 years is so. Do you know what has happened in 2 years on Bravo?
Oh, geez, everything.
So thinking back to it, Lisa started that stuff with Caroline, right? Wasn't Caroline? I feel like
remember.
Caroline just kind of showed up like, "Hello, poor people. Does anybody want to try to talk to me? I've been on television before." I think she was like generally rude, but didn't Lisa start the stuff at that outdoor party, that huge party that Nina Ali had,
I thought
where
Caroline got into a fight with Caroline.
Caroline
there.
got into a fight with Sergio.
But Brooks was with Sarah. She was mad at Sarah.
But wasn't Caroline fighting with Sergio that night and being like, "Oh, shut up, Sergio, you fucking loser." And then they were like, "Oh my God, Sergio, she's so mean to you." And then she's like, "I heard you said I was mean to Sergio." Like, is this all in my head?
I honestly remember so little from that season because it was so long ago and so unmemorable to me. Like, let's be honest.
I do remember that party, and we were like, wow. And the economy out there must be like a circus performer economy, because there were like always circus performers at every party. Like every time they went to a party, they're like, oh my God, it's someone hanging from a ring on the ceiling. This is crazy.
I think Lisa just didn't like Caroline for a variety of reasons. She didn't like that. I don't remember. Caroline was a brat on their vacation. Maybe she didn't like her from that. I don't know. But like,
yeah, I remember Caroline was a brat and Lisa, yeah. So I don't remember who started the first fight, but that's important in Housewives lore to know who started the very first fight, because it never stops. Like the first argument builds and builds over 20 seasons or whatever until it's just like everyone's dead at the end. You know, there's just blood all over the screen. And it all started from that first fight. So it's important to remember who it is. I don't remember whose fault it is, but maybe I should go back and rewatch. Damn you, damn you.
Oh, be careful what you wish for. So we're at the W Hotel in Dubai, and Sergio drops off Caroline, which made me so happy that Sergio did not come in. Like, he just was like, he's like, you wait there, Sergio. No, you are my husband, but more importantly, you're now my employee. You wait by the car, Sergio. Just wait. Wait. Valet, if he starts to cry, just slap him. You have my permission.
So Chanel joins her at the restaurant, looking, fabulous, of course. And she's like, I brought gift, and it's a pineapple. And she's like, oh, thank you. Ammunition. What do you mean ammunition? This is pineapple. Oh, these are the only things that I can throw at Sergio to make him leave me alone. Literally, one of the only things he's afraid of when it comes to me is getting a bloody face, as that's how he got me in the first place. So.
Oh, I just had a wonderful idea. I'm going to tell him this is our new baby, and he'll cradle it for about 3 years before he catches on. Just shut him up for a little bit. So they order champagne, and basically Caroline's saying that they had, she's like, Chanel and I, we had a terrible year, and we both just parked it, much like Sergio with that car over there. And we said, let's just start afresh, because we're both honestly way too fabulous to be fighting, and we're better off together, and the people love us. So, when she says I'm prickly but sweet on the inside, that is the biggest compliment she has ever paid me, and I will take it.
So now they're talking about what else? Beyonce. So Caroline's like, did you like Beyonce? I presume she didn't get you wet.
I was looking for you guys, and I was like, I don't see them. And she's like, oh, fine, you win. You got to be with Kendall Jenner. I get it. Mm-hmm. So then they start talking about their kids going off to college, and Chanel's son is looking at Stanford and Harvard and Princeton. And, Caroline's like, yes, that's nice. My daughter wants to go to UCLA and some vague place called Washington. I don't know. We're all embarrassed for her.
I'm just begging her to go to ABH. What is that? Anywhere but here.
It appears she wants to go to public institutions, which I don't even understand the idea of that. So we're all just laughing, and we've decided to erase her from our wills at this point.
They talk about how they're scared for their kids to go to America because America's so dangerous. And, in Dubai, the kids can just run around and stuff and be fine. And you can't do that in America, which is funny because like this, just us not knowing, America's not really knowing what goes on over there. It's like, sounds scary to us to go over there, right? Because I don't feel like I can just run around doing whatever I want. It's like a gay guy. Like,
right.
I don't feel that freedom, which is crazy. But I don't know. I believe the show. I believe the propaganda that is this show. Where they're like, no, it's fine. When they're like, we love gay people as long as nobody knows.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like I've said everything to be said about Dubai. I'm like, whatever at this point. I'm just going to enjoy the show.
I don't necessarily need to get on the soapbox about it. It's just funny to hear them be like, oh, America's so much less safe than Dubai. As a gay person, I'm like, I don't know that I've ever felt that. But okay, I'll believe you.
Dubai is super safe. Just don't touch another man's hand if you're gay. That's all.
Please, yeah. But by all means, just put that propaganda in a blender with a couple of Splendas and I'll suck it right down. Not in a gay way. Cheyenne,
Stop this is a serious topic.
Blender,
So Chanel is like saying that she's been really sad lately, and she says that since she opened up about her FGM or female genital mutilation story, she got attacked by a lot of her own people online, and she comes from a culture where no one talks about it. And we do see a flashback about how last season she had that very emotional moment where she was crying about it and sort of like revealing this horrific chapter in her life. And she said says that she was never planning to talk about it, and that Sarah really encouraged her to open up and said like, "Oh, this will help you, and this is going to help you." And then then Chanel tells us that then the person that I opened up to went to the media and said, "I'm playing the victim with my story." And we see a headline that says, "Sarah Al-Madani, Chanel Ayan's traumas are no excuse for bad behavior." And then it says that Sarah told the outlet for her to take that story and victimize herself. I mean, we've all been through traumas in life, but that's not an excuse for us to treat people in any bad way or behave in a certain way.
Oh my God. What a monster, this lady. I can't. So Chanel's like, she was literally attacking me as much as everyone else. I was literally in shock. And she's like, how could she do this to me? And, she's going on. But now, we have to remember that Chanel's not like what am I trying to say?
Shrinking violet?
Thank you. She's not some shrinking violet. But Sarah, I mean, this is low. You don't take that and use that against somebody. I mean, if you're going to come for Chanel for coming after you for any other reason, okay, but you can't use someone's like childhood trauma of female
just be
circumcision
dismissive
against
of
them.
it.
You fucking who does that?
Yeah, I mean, I agreed. Like, people still have to treat people with courtesy, but I don't have a memory of Chanel saying, "Oh, because I went through this specific wretched thing, that I'm therefore gonna be like that's excusing my behavior." I really don't feel like that. I don't have a memory of that. But then again, I apparently don't have a memory of anything.
Well, and frankly, to me, if you use something like that as an excuse, if you're like, well, I treated you like that way because of this childhood trauma, this specific childhood trauma, I'd be like, okay. Some things are usable as a pass. That's what I say. I say that's a pretty big one. You're allowed.
Yeah, like if Kim Zolciak says, "Oh, I treated you that way because as a child a burger fell on my foot and ruined my date," I'd be like, okay, fuck you. But I think that like Chanel, we allow it.
Sure.
We allow it.
Yeah.
So Chanel's basically like saying that it makes her want to like crawl into a little cocoon and just like not want to talk about it or anything. And Caroline's like, well, I would do the opposite. I would go loud. Like, watch this. Sergio, you're an idiot. Not good. Sergio, you're an idiot. Much better.
I still can't wait to impregnate you.
Damn him. Hold on.
He needs to be quiet.
For sure.
Ow, I'm bleeding.
Thank you so much for that pineapple.
I'm glad I practiced American football all those years. It came in handy for this exact moment.
Sometimes you've got to teach a footballer what an American footballer can do. You know what I'm saying? All right, what were you saying? And she goes, oh, I want to make you laugh. So I went to Africa to see my mom. And listen, I always thought my mom was 65. She's not. She's 80, which means I might be older than you.
That would make me so happy, almost as happy as if I could just see the black eye forming around Sergio's face with that pineapple. Could we go look real quickly?
Oh my God. Listen, how do we check? I mean, there must be a way to tell, like dogs. Do we look at your canines, DNA test, blood? Here's how I do it with Sergio. I turn on Baby Shark and just wait for him to go. Da, da, da. You see? I'm sorry. Don't arrest that man with a bloody face jumping around singing Baby Shark in the hotel lobby, all right? It's my actual husband.
Someone married that person, and it was me. I'm mortified. I'm being loud about it, though. Anyway, Chanel, I'm going to drag you into some hospital and tie you down so we can see how old you are. You know, the last year, Chanel dined out on my age. Oh, and Ayan is older than me? How ironic. If I could rip out one of her teeth now at this brunch, I would. That has nothing to do with her age. I just want to do it. I love pain.
So Chanel's like, I could be 50. She goes, well, you do look good, to be fair. And that's all you're getting today. And she's like, well, in our friend group, everyone is hot, but I'm the hottest. I'm actually having a lot of fun. Are you having fun? She goes, yes. This is me having fun.
Hold on, give me your shoe. Thank you. Oh, no, there's a shoe in my eyeball. Now I'm having fun.
I correct myself. Pineapples aren't the only things that make him facially bleed. Ha ha. Ha ha.
So now we go to Brooks and Talene at coffee. So now we're going to meet the new lady. So Brooks is like, Talene is one of my closest friends in Dubai. I've known her for almost a decade, and we are crazy, but the best form of crazy. Well, as crazy as we're allowed to be in this country, which is not very crazy at all. But we sometimes light sparklers on fire and wave them around, and it's pretty wild. We have wild times.
We've both been known to loosen a couple of toilets in our day. Did I say that out loud? Don't tell Ralph.
Sorry, don't tell Zara.
Zoran.
Rafi is Talene's husband.
What can I say? I'm wasted. I can hardly tell them apart.
Literally being crazy right now.
So Talene's like, after living in LA for about 9 years, moving to Dubai was rough because all I knew was my husband. I didn't have any family here or friends. And then 9 years ago, there were a lot less Americans in Dubai. And Caroline was the first one I met. And we've been shit-faced ever since. Caroline?
Yeah.
That's Talene's thing. She's like a proud drunk from America.
Yes. Listen, you can call Brooks at 2 a.m. You're shit-faced on the side of the road. Is there a dinosaur to give you a lift? No, get out of here, Chanel. You need a ride home. Caroline's the one you'll call, and she will pick you up. I mean, you might be on the phone for 2 hours, and she might crash into a few buildings on the way there and the way back. But, like, maybe you need that at that moment.
So now we find out is Lisa's pool party brunch thing is coming up. So does Talene want to go? And Brooks tells her,
Yeah, well, I heard about you at the Beyonce event. Caroline Stanbury was watching you like a hawk. She said that she fell down and showed everyone your vagina.
And I mean, I did move to LA to be in the music industry. It's kind of what you do. So
and she's like,
Yeah, I literally scooped you up with one hand and we continued, as you do. That's what we do. And she's like, how is that fun? And she's just falling over drunk.
You know, Caroline and I have developed this. By the way, this is the part of our podcast history where I just start doing an impersonation of your impersonation, so it just gets all weird.
well, you better watch out because this is not even close.
No, yours is really hilarious.
This is literally the blind leading the blind. We're walking into a lot of walls vocally today.
It's kind of like whoever does the impersonation first, then it's like you've established, and now I follow. So Caroline and I have developed this amazing friendship over the past year. So she's one of my closest friends in Dubai now. But when she came after Talene, it really rubbed me the wrong way. And I'm going to have Talene's back no matter what. Which means I think
are
they're
they
going to have a
enemies
falling
yet?
out. That's what happens. Yes. A new person comes on. We're best friends. And by the end of the season, it's over.
Yep. And so now Lisa and Chanel arrive at Good Weather Girls Brunch.
Lisa goes,
did I get everything?
Yeah, Lisa goes, the weather is finally perfect. And it says 91 degrees.
It's their winter brunch.
Sergio's standing on the side with a melted ice cream cone. Oh, Caroline, it melted again. It melted.
Oh, God, look at that. Is that our son? Oh, damn. All right. Chanel is wearing these huge platforms and having trouble walking in the sand. And she's like, you didn't say it was going to be in the beach, bitch. And so they're just, coming on.
Zoran
Sergio
just
drops.
putting a toilet down. He's like, toilet installed.
Sergio's dropping Stanbury off. And then Chanel's talking about how she went to lunch with Stanbury and brought her a pineapple. And Lisa's like, you never know what you get with the pineapple. Sometimes it's sore.
I think she said sore.
So sometimes it's... I think people can get sores from pineapples because they are very acidic.
There's I know, like sometimes if I eat mangoes, I get like a little, my lips turn like a little red. There's like a little irritation that can happen with these like acidic.
A canker sore, a harada, as we call them.
Oh God, I hate a canker sore. I use Sensodyne because I'm very prone to getting canker sores. I use Sensodyne, so that way I don't have it. It's that annoying. You're welcome, everyone. You got some insight.
Little canker sore insight.
Shayun,
Cheyenne.
Stop
trying to
toothpaste.
catch canker stores. Stop trying to catch canker stores and
The canker
pineapple
store.
lovers.
So
You go buy your own canker.
Sergio drops off
Sergio's-
Stanbury,
Yeah.
and he's like, okay, anything you need, honey, I'm right here, okay? And she goes, I'm just going to the beach, not war, you imbecile.
Oh, could you do me a favor and bring me something? Anything. Silence.
You say anything I need? Yes. Okay. Take this car and drive it in a straight line until you hit a building or drive off into the ocean. Thank you.
Okay. So I'm saying that mostly to myself to stop giggling. I'm like, okay.
I don't think I've
Ronnie,
ever had so
get
much
through
fun
this.
doing a Dubai recap. I swear to God. It's back.
So
Lisa-
Lisa's like, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Here's the thing with Lisa. I love Lisa's like attitude. I think she's got like the perfect housewives vibe. It's just what comes out of her mouth is never great. Like you think it's going to be all these like really great one-liners and zingers, and they just never really land, you know?
Like, you never know what you'll get with the pineapple. Sometimes it's sore.
Yeah, it could be our typing, to be fair.
It could be our typing. But to be fair, when she says, keep your friends close and your enemies closer, it's like, can you do better than that? That's a little basic, you know?
Yeah. So then Stanbury is like, well, Lisa and I did some awful things to each other last year. And then we see the reunion with Lisa saying, why don't you focus on being in Jeffrey Epstein's notebook? And she's like, oh, please, you're a former escort in Miami.
And Lisa's
forgot
like,
that it
if I
got
was,
that nasty, but
it got
that shit's
crazy.
amazing.
And
Yeah.
Lisa's like, if I was an escort girl, I would have been a rich bitch. So it's like, oh, so you're like, I'm not that wealthy because I was not an escort in Miami. Ha. So Stanbury is like, Ayan has always said that I would get on best with Lisa, and I think both of us are ready to try. That's why we both brought boomerangs to chuck at Sergio from over the fences.
So they all toast to new beginnings, and then Brooks, Talene, Sarah come. And Sarah's like, I'm wacky and crazy. I'm going to wear a blow-up donut for the water around my waist. Guys, trauma's over now, okay?
Guess what? I have the best spiritual healer. He took my trauma and turned it into amazing donut floaty from Amazon. I love this man.
So now they're talking about, like, guys. Lisa announces, oh, my God, it's only 94 degrees. And,
They're like,
you know,
Dubai
so-
winter. It's
Yeah,
like, oh my
so they're-
God, I'm so glad the weather's getting better. And now it says it's 94 degrees.
So they're talking about Sergio, and Talene is asking Sarah if she's picky about men. And Sarah goes, no, I just want a guy who's kind, empathetic. I'm very spiritual, so I want someone who's spiritual, but I need someone who can be very spiritual in less than 10 minutes. I'm not really into long-form spirituality. Do you understand?
Oh, yes. I attract narcissists. And by narcissists, I mean immature man boys who should have gotten into a skiing accident 10 years ago.
And we find out that Talene is Armenian, but she was born and raised in good old Virginia. And she moved to LA at 17, where she wrote music, and she was signed with Jamie Foxx and then went on tour with Christina. She opened for Sting. It's like cute. She's like, oh my God, am I name dropping right now, guys? I'm so sorry.
Why do I feel like Talene basically was on a Trixie Monocle path? Like, I feel like half the songs that we hear on these shows, like, we're gonna take off. It's just like Talene singing, like it was her demo.
Well, Talene Sting, I'm looking her up. Clean Sting, it says, did you mean, okay, what's her?
Was she on American Idol? Do you think?
Housewives of Dubai. Talene Marie. Okay, let's go look at Talene Marie on Instagram.
Now that's a bad sign if you're doing like the Sheena thing.
What do you mean?
Sheena's like, I'm gonna
like
be
Sheena
Sheena
Marie.
Marie.
Well, she's on Instagram. She's followable. She's got 19.9 thousand followers, almost 20. She's into Tally Fitness and Something Cosmetics, and she was in Harper's Bazaar Arabia in the culture section. Okay, Talene Marie songwriter. I'm going to look up. Talene.
While you look that up, I'm going to continue with more of her bio, which was that she went on tour with Christina and opened up for Sting. And then she says, I always thought I'd be in California for the rest of my life. But then when I met the love of my life, my husband, Rafi, I had to decide, do I want to pursue music or love? And then I realized he was driving a G-Wagon. I thought, love it is. Quote unquote, love it is. And I moved to Dubai.
I guess I could do this on my own time, right? I'm falling down a Talene Marie hole. Oh, there's a YouTube from LA to Dubai. I'm ready to show the world a glimpse into my life of music, fitness, fashion, my friends, and the luxurious jet-setting lifestyle. Star emoji. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
Her
I'm
story
done with
is definitely like a very LA story, which is someone comes to LA, has some success, some hits, some things go forward, most things don't. Meet someone rich and says, you know what? Rather than having to schlep my way to the Roxy for the 15th time this week, I'm just going to marry rich and live a life of luxury in Dubai.
I'm into it. Sounds good to me. Okay, singles and EPs. Marco Petralia featuring Talene. The Nicer Feet DC and Talene. Let me see. Miscellaneous. Wendell Coase. DJ Funkadelic. Serge Devant. Willem Deroux. I don't know. I'm into it. Now, here's where you lose me. When you say, I'm into music and fitness. It's like you got me and then you lost me. You know what I mean? It's like you got me interested and then you kicked me in the face.
Yeah. So Chanel's like, guys, let's talk about Beyonce because I wanted to remind everyone we were in the VVIP area and I did not see any of you hoes there. And Lisa goes, to be fair though, we all had the same tickets. Like we were all going to be exactly there, you know. And Chanel's like, no, I wasn't. Stop it. Stop lowering my standards, bitch. So they're all like laughing. And then Chanel turns to Talene and is like, by the way, I heard that you fell down and your ass was out and so is your vagina. So it's like, here comes the feud. Someone fell over and their vagina was showing for a second.
And Stanbury's like, we see a clip of her being like, Talene, face planted. All I saw was an ass and a G-string. I think Sergio saw a vagina. He wasn't sure. It's been a while for him, God bless his heart. But he did get very excited.
Then he realized he was just looking in the mirror. So
he just started asking, is my child in there? Is my child in there? And ding-donging like it was a goddamn doorbell.
Knock, knock. No, not right now, Chanel. This is not the time. So,
what if a dinosaur came up to a vagina and it wanted a ride?
Honestly, at this point, I would take a dinosaur over Sergio. So I'd say, get in, big boy.
So Talene's like, oh, it was a great time. And Stanbury's like, well, Sergio saw your vagina. He loved it.
Brooks goes, well, it was a little topple and it was not that serious.
She's wasted. She's like, that was not a topple. That was a face plant. All right. And Lisa's like, oh, that means you had a good time, right, girls?
Caroline, you can't be serious. What are you trying to do here? Are you trying to humiliate Talene or what? What is this?
Oh, and Talene's like, why is my vagina the table talk? Did I take a bit of a stumble? Sure, okay. But if a JJ never made a cameo, okay? It stayed in. I can be a little assy, but most of the time I'm classy. Take that, Lisa Milan. That's how you do it.
Lisa Milan's like, damn, that was really good. I don't know what to do now.
So Brooks is shit-faced. She's like, and that's what I gotta say about it. I'm gonna go to the bathroom right now. I'm hoping that Zoran didn't do this so I don't risk falling into the goddamn desert.
If you never see me again, just tell my children I love them and I got swallowed up by a sand pit in the bathroom. So Stanbury's like, I have never seen her like this. Why is she so 100? Sarah goes, well, recently I've been doing a lot of spiritual therapy, which has By the way, this does not answer your question at all. I just feel like talking about myself. I've been doing a lot of spiritual therapy and with shamans and healers. It was great. I was in between meetings. I came in for the 20-minute special. I got all cleaned up. They said my brake pads need to be replaced. I was like, but you know those places, they always want to do that to you. Anyway, I just made Brooke start as well.
Yeah, we saw this season already. You trying to get other people involved in your horse shit, okay, lady, for influencer points or whatever the fuck you're up to. So Lisa's like, well, it's going to take more than a shaman for her. And Sarah's like, oh, but it's like beautiful. And it's in Bali. And it's going to fix your soul. That's why you do it. And Ayan's like, and Lisa goes, are you okay, Ayan? Do you have something that you would like to say to this very spiritual person from Bali? She's like, no, I'm not okay. I'm not okay.
There's no use crying over spilt milk. Am I right? It's like, okay, Lisa. So she's like, so Chanel's like, to hear you speak like that, it really makes me so confused, Sarah, because just like what you're doing with Brooks, I really trusted you and I literally opened up to you about my story. And then I see you calling me a victim, like fucking going everywhere.
When did I say you were using your story to be a victim? I said your story is not an excuse to be mean to people. She goes, oh, well, how the fuck do I use my story to be mean to people? She goes, and I never said you're playing victim. I gave you my shoulder to cry on. I was there for you for 9 minutes. Your husband even called me to thank me just before you put a knife in my back. Don.
Stop it, Chanel. Stop. You don't need to go low. Everyone's told me you've been speaking about me behind my back. And then Lisa Milan's like, why did you call her a victim? So Brooke's back like, hey everyone, I'll have quarter pounder with cheese, Diet Coke, large fries, whatever else is getting. It's like she's really wasted, isn't she?
Stanbury's like, guys, stop, please. I want to enjoy my bread. It's very rare that I ever get this, all right? Everyone just stay quiet. Hold on. I can't enjoy it. I don't know if it's you or just a simple fact of what I know it's going to do to me later. Gain 1 pound and Sergio's all up in my business, calling me pregnant, mother of his children. I can't bear it. Just bring me anything that doesn't move, that's chilled and possibly came from the ground. I don't even care what it is. Just make sure it's calorie free, please.
Could you please have this conversation alone? It's like I've got 2 Sergios yammering away in my ears.
It's the same thing I say to Sergio every time he brings up baby making. Please have this conversation alone.
So Ayan and Sarah walk away, and they like go over to like these loungers, and Ayan's like saying like, Sarah, I was so comfortable with you, and then when that interview came out, I felt like you really betrayed me. I was really hurt by you saying that. And Sarah's like, and I was hurt that you went on Twitter telling people I don't have any businesses and that I'm broke. It's like, oh, okay, this is what it is. So she says you have no businesses, and you say, oh, well, she's acting like a victim because she had female trauma stemming from female circumcision.
Yeah, again, like there's no fight here. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you win, you win. I say,
But
and
but it
also
still
you
is
know,
funny.
but well, just
Because
Chanel,
of what happened
just Chanel
next.
in general, because she comes back this season doing kind of that second season, like look at me, just fun-loving Chanel. I can't understand why anybody would be arguing with me. And then it cuts to the tweet like, "You're a loser. You never even had a business, and you're poor." Like what the hell, bro?
But here's the real reason why Sarah was upset. Because then she goes, and then I post a picture of myself with a beautiful quote. And so then we see a photo on Twitter of Sarah being like, it's like a selfie. And then the quote says, 7.5 billion smiles in the world. And yours is the one that set my heart on fire. What is this bullshit? And it's like, of course, it's like a thirst trap photo a little bit. And then then she goes, and you said, oh, now you're modeling now, Sarah, on Twitter? Ha ha.
I love Chanel. Chanel, I think, is single-handedly why this show is picked back up. She is so
Yes.
fucking funny. And she goes, what? I thought it was funny. Knock, knock. I'm not falling for this again. So then back at the
my next
table,
line.
table. Celine is talking to Stanbury. She's like, you know, it's great that I'm so good with everybody at the table. I'm good with you, right? Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Are we? And she's like, are you talking to me?
I'm sorry, is the person who couldn't make it singing songs in the corner of a Starbucks in Los Angeles talking to me, someone who went to a academic institution with a royal person?
I'm sorry, Sting, would that be the singer or the feeling you got on your ass after you fell on it and showed your vagina to everyone at Beyonce?
You know, I opened up for Sting as well, you know. I went up to him and I said, I have to share this with you. The person who's singing right before you is terrible. There, I've opened up to you.
All right, now you keep using this we. Let me just give you a little lesson, darling. There's no we in I, all right? So something you need to say. It's like you and I, we're good, right? She goes, I mean, I guess so. I love watching people fall down, you know? Without that, there never would have been a Kramer.
She goes, I just want to make sure we're all good because you've been talking to Caroline about the vajay and the way it was brought to me. I was like, I can't believe Talene behaved like this. She goes, I said that's about you. I just don't normally talk about people in the service industry casually, you know?
Brooks is like, I think we can all agree that the 7 a.m. phone calls from Caroline should stop at this point. And Stanbury's like, well, I won't call you again. With pleasure, Brooks. With pleasure.
You know, if she had such an issue with me, I don't know why she didn't share it with me when I was actually on the phone during that 7 a.m. phone call. Which, as we all know, I only do it because when the sun rises, Sergio starts to whimper. I need any excuse to get out of that room.
The only reason I pick up the phone at that time of the morning is to avoid the flagpole that awaits me in bed.
So Stanbury is like, yeah, like I didn't like. I won't call you. And she goes, and I never said, is this how you're going to be? I said, I find that funny. I said, I thought it was funny that your vagina was out. I was like, look at that unmoored person who's probably from America showing her vagina all here amongst us wealthy people. It was hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the thing I would have to remind myself about this show is that could be very bad when you're telling people, that lady's just showing her vagina all over town. That's like...
Yeah, maybe the Dubai laws
you
are not
literally
so
can't
kind.
do that. It's not. Sometimes you have to remind yourself, like, this is not just a regular Housewives. Like last year, one of the ways that Sarah really showed her ass last year was when she threatened to call the police for somebody for using bad language and stuff. Remember when she was fighting with Caroline?
right.
Wasn't it Caroline that she was like threatening to call the police, and that became a big, huge thing? I mean, it's different, you know. It's a different place. So, yeah. So she's like, yeah, I mean, I think it's hilarious. You're like throwing your vagina around, but they're like, yeah, not here. Okay, ma'am. So then back to the other argument. Sarah's like, listen, what I was saying is you cannot victimize yourself and hurt people because you were hurt. Don't bleed the people that didn't cut you. And Ayan's like, do I look like somebody that bleeds?
Sarah goes, what? All I want is for you to say...
That made me laugh. I love Ayan. She doesn't even really have to understand what you're saying to just rip you a new one, you know?
I know. And she goes, no, all I want is for you to say, Ayan, I hear you. You trusted me, you opened up to me, and I put salt and vinegar into the pain. I actually made the pain quite delicious now that I think about it. And Sarah's like, all I said is you victimize yourself because you want to be the center of attention, and it's true. I'm like, well, that's different now. Now the real opinion comes out, because before it was like, hey, just because you went through shit doesn't mean you have to hurt other people. But now it's like, oh, you want to be the star, and you're using your victim. You're using this trauma to be a star, and I don't like that.
Yeah. She's gross. Sarah's gross.
Yeah.
So Ayan is like, but I am the center of attention. And Sarah is like, you know what? I don't even want your apology, so just save your apology. And she's like, well, you can just stop pretending to be a kind, loving person because you are not a good person. And maybe you should check your soul. And she's like, maybe you should buy your own clothes instead of borrowing them. And that's what I love. When someone acts like they're so above all the pettiness, and the immediate go-to the second you get under their skin is, you're poor.
Yes.
You're poor.
And Chanel goes, I do buy my clothes. And Sarah goes, you're full of shit. Oh yeah, you're full of shit too. Instead of doing all this face surgery, get your soul surgery, because your soul is shit. Soul surgery. So they rejoin the other women. And
I died. I thought
Should
that
have-
was so fucking funny. Instead of more face surgery, get some soul surgery.
And Chanel's like, we can never be good. And, I apologized. And she said, I don't need your apology. And I meant what I said. I'm not taking it back. And Sarah's like, well, I don't need you to validate who I am. I know who I am.
And Talene, of course, is like, we should all take a shot, all right?
Can we please get a round of tequila and pour it on Sergio's head? That's how you have fun.
And that brings us to the end of Real Housewives of Dubai, everybody.
I mean, I enjoyed that episode. I mean, I'm hoping that, onwards and upwards, we're like, let's stay in this zone,
Yeah, the auto zone.
Auto
All right,
zone.
under 10 minutes, y'all. Thanks. Sayuna.
Shayun, it's the end of the podcast.
Guys, in the comments, let us know on a level of 1 to 10 how was your trauma by the end of this episode. We sure love you guys. Thanks so much for being with us. We will talk to you next time.
Bye.
Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
Stroll in the park with Caitlin Clark.
She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Itchels. Erin McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas.
She's never scary. It's the Green Fairy.
Jamie, she has no last namey.
Hava Nagila Weber. Know your worth with Jason Kurth.
Sip some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
She's always supplying, it's Kelly Ryan.
Kristen the Piston Anderson. Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino. We want to hang with Liz Lang. Megan Berg. You can't have a burger without the Berg.
The Bay Area Betches. Betches.
And our super premium sponsors.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
We forever love Ava.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall. We got our wish. It's Jen Plish.
She's not harsh, she's Jill Hirsch. She's a little bit loony. Junie. My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo.
We love him madly. It's Kyle Pod Shadley.
Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender. The incredible edible Matthews sisters.
Give him hell, Miss Noel.
Ring that bell for Rachel.
She's the queen bee, it's Sarah Lemke. Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.
Hey Prime members, you can listen to Watch What Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the Amazon Music app today. Or you can listen ad-free with Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts. Before you go, tell us about yourself by completing a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
I'm Elena, an autopsy technician.
And I'm Ash, a hairstylist.
And we just love swapping stories about all of the morbid things that fascinate us.
And if you do too, join us on our podcast, Morbid. It's a safe space to let your weirdo flag fly.
On Morbid, we cover dark historical events, sinister science, unnerving paranormal events, and sordid high society murders.
We also dive deep into the most notorious crimes in history.
Our podcast is grounded in rigorous and painstaking research. We're also not afraid to read a
Yeah. We keep it weird because a dash of snark is necessary to get through grotesque true tales of demented minds.
So follow Morbid on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Morbid early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
Peyton, it's happening. We're finally being recognized for being very online.
It's about damn time. I mean, it's hard work being this opinionated.
And correct.
You're such a Leo.
All the time.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a home for your worst opinions,
If you're a hater first and a lover of pop culture second,
then join me, Hunter Harris,
and me, Peyton Dix, the host of Wondery's newest podcast, Let Me Say This.
As beacons of truth and connoisseurs of mess, we are scouring the depths of the internet so you don't have to.
We're obviously talking about the biggest gossip and celebrity news.
Like, it's not a question of if Drake got his body done, but when.
You are so messy for that, but we will be giving you the B-sides. Don't you worry. The deep cuts, the niche, the obscure.
Like that one photo of Nicole Kidman after she finalized her divorce from Tom Cruise.
A mother to many. Follow Let Me Say This on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Listen to episodes everywhere on May 22nd, or you can listen ad-free by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app on Apple Podcasts.